What's up, everyone? This is the Next Tape Podcast, episode 3 with Mikel and
Tanyka.
where we have conversations on different topics. So, Tanyka, we have made it. Yes, we have made it to 3 episodes of the Next Tape Podcast. Should we throw a party?
I think we need a little more before we start throwing a party.
Yeah, you might be right. So, what is today's episode topics?
So today we're going to be talking about, how education lacks in certain areas. We're also going to be talking about some new music that's dropped, talk about Nelly Furtado new song, and we're going to talk about Drake's new song, Nas's new album dropped. So we're going to be talking about that. Plus, we also have a little bit of an update from last week's episode. And then we're also going to talk about that alien that has been presented to Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do you want to start first? You want to start with
Well, like we always do, let's just start in order.
Okay, so how's school education was lacking in the past, or is it lacking right now? I would say.
Well, it's kind of hard for me to really talk about how it's lacking now because we're not there, right? I haven't been in school in my 11 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while for you too, so it's hard to talk about that. But I guess I could talk about my brother currently is in school, and it's kind of seeing how certain things he should know that maybe they should be teaching and they're not. But I think really the only thing we can do is talk about our own experiences.
Right. So these are the two things that I jot down that was lacking when I was in school or when we were in school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do I think they have improved since I left? As I was looking on some of the articles on Ontario, they have improved a bit. I would say they have improved. They still need a lot to improve, but But these are the two things that they lacked when I was in school: financial literacy and history. If you
think they lacked in history?
Yes.
In what sense? I'm curious, actually, because I'm on the side of disagreeing with you.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You would disagree? But more so Black history?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes, I would agree with that then, yes.
Yeah, Black history. And we'll touch more on that a little later.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another one, but I'll touch about that,
okay.
after the history segment. So financial literacy, I don't think financial literacy was never taught in school.
So my only memory of ever learning anything with having to understand, how money works or budgets or anything like that was from an early age, at least in the Canadian education system.
Right.
They would teach you, okay, so here's the amount of tax, which obviously has changed, the percentage of taxing. That's obviously changed since we learned and how that worked. We learned about, interest rates in terms of credit cards and stuff like that. We learned somewhat how that worked. We learned about, mortgages and percentages of that, how long that lasts for. We learned things like that as well. Mm-hmm. In high school, the only thing I remember ever really learning, because really all they focused on was fucking parabolas, was, we had to do this. Again, this is very limited for me. I was just grade 11 math, and it's the last time I did math, so I can't remember too much. But basically what I remember was we had to do a budget of some sense. We were given like, this is what we get, and we have to make that work. What can you afford? So you had to like go and like, okay, this is the house I can afford. This is the job I can get, that kind of thing. But
Right.
still, it didn't mimic real life, really and
Yeah.
truly. Um, so I feel like that's something that is definitely lacking. I
Yes.
feel like it doesn't even just lack here because, I mean, just as an example, it kind of fits perfectly, I guess, a little bit. Like, I just recently got paid. I'm doing my budget. This is something that I've been doing since I got a real job, which was a long time ago. And, you know, I do that. That's what I do. I figure out how much I need to spend on certain things and what I have left over and try my best to stay within that.
Right.
And texting my boyfriend, he's like, "Oh, what are you doing?" "Oh, I'm doing my budget." And he's like, wife material kind of situation, and says, "Oh, you'd be handling the money because I'm not good with my money." So it's like, okay, so which
Gotcha.
there's, he has his weaknesses or whatever, which we have gotten under control. But
Do you think that has a lot to do with like, there's a lot of people that say like, I'm not good with my money. Do you think that's
mm,
has to do with our education system failing or
well, for
parenting?
him, let me just preface here, he didn't go to school here in Canada. He's South African, so he
Right.
learned in South Africa. He's been to college here, but
Hmm.
that's his only exposure to Canadian education.
Right.
So I'm not sure what they teach in South Africa in
Hmm.
terms of budgets and stuff like that. If they
Yeah.
teach any of that, I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
They'll probably be different over there.
I'm sure it'd be slightly different, not like ridiculously different, but
Right.
like even like, to preface here too, both me and
Hmm.
you are Jamaican background. Jamaican schools, if you can pay for it, are absolutely incredible. They teach very well, maybe even
Yes.
better than here, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
So,
That's
you
what my
know,
mom said. Yeah.
yeah, so it really just depends. But I think, unfortunately, I think, well, in his example here, I think it's more of everyone has a weakness,
Hmm.
right? And don't know how to handle money very well.
Right.
So I think that's it for him. The typical black man, shoes and jerseys is his weakness.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So, you
We
know,
like to as black people we like to spend money on like, shinier things and
oh, don't even get me started. Don't get me started.
uh but yeah, like some people like they even get misinformation from
Mm-hmm.
their own families, like in terms of
Mm-hmm.
like,
That's true. That's true. And I've
in
seen
terms of
that
yeah. Yeah.
because, like, for me, I was taught save, save, save from an early age,
Oh yeah.
right? And at that age, you're like, oh, I don't want to save, I want to spend. But honestly, that's something that sticks in your head.
Mhm.
I don't spend on things that I don't need unless I really need it. I mean, if I want it, then I'll work up to that. Fine, if I want something. But usually, especially these days, I just live within what I can afford. And that's probably something that I learned from an early age. But when it comes to like the budgets and sticking within that,
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Yeah.
it's hard because I think the biggest thing is we were just never taught what that looks like and how we should do it, even if it's a base. We never learned anything like that in school. So then when you go out into the real world, even in college, you really start there on how to handle your money because you have very little of it.
Yeah. So
We,
yeah, we
you
were
know,
like in the education system, we're never taught how to like, save or either, invest the money or, never taught us about any of these accounts, such as, the RSP, the RESP, the
mm-hmm,
TFSA, uh the RIF, the RIF account. I believe that's for like, seniors, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh,
And yeah,
but
that's the
yeah,
thing. I will admit, yeah, like I'm scared to invest in anything because
yeah,
I really truly don't understand it.
yeah,
Even until now, like I still really don't understand it. Like an RSP, that's a whole different thing. Everyone should have an RSP.
exactly. Yeah,
I
that's true.
don't have an RSP because I can't afford an RSP.
Hmm.
That's a whole other situation, but I need to make myself afford it.
Hmm.
But like everyone should have an RSP. That's easy enough. But it's like those other things, like what's a safe investment? What's not a safe investment? Like we don't learn these things,
Nope.
which is why for me, I'm like, I don't trust it because I don't really truly understand it.
True.
And I feel
True.
like that starts with I should have learned these things
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
school.
Well, yeah, that too. It should have been a course in school,
Mm-hmm.
and also there for the what for people who don't understand it or who never learned it in school. There also is books at like
Mm-hmm.
chapters or or calls. You can just learn it from there, or you can dabble and search on Google just to do your research on there as well. Or you can just, go to your local bank and, talk to a financial advisor. They will just, tell you certain things and, to make you understand what certain accounts or what to invest in, what is safe, what is way risky and what is whatever. So
Yeah.
that's a that's another
Yes,
choice.
but what I'm also saying, because of what the topic we're here is talking about, is that's
Mm.
something that obviously you can't learn everything, but it should be some sort of
Yeah.
base should have been taught in school, and it
Yeah.
just wasn't at any point. Because I mean, again, like I mean, this is something obviously we're not going to learn in college, depending on what course you're taking. And
Yeah.
for me, that's something that I didn't learn because I took like a legal assistant clerking course. So
Mm.
that's something that I didn't learn. But kind of to segue a little bit into that very quickly before we go into any other topic
Yeah.
with the education part of it, is there's a very vital thing in my course, which I know you probably don't really understand, but
Mhm.
um, that we should have learned and we didn't. Sure, we learned how to type and make sure we can type at a fast enough speed,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
which
remember
which
that.
which in
I remember.
turn, well, that's something that we actually had a class. We actually had a typewriting class. That was a dedicated class in just
Oh
typing in my
yeah,
course. That's a little
and
different. Yes, I remember learning that in school, but my course actually had a class just for typing.
that
You'd literally go in there, you'd have a
mm,
book, and you would type.
type. Yeah,
That's all you would
that's
do.
that. I feel like that was a waste,
It
in my opinion.
wasn't, it wasn't, I won't say it was because it wasn't a
Really?
waste. Yes, because of what I do, we have
Mhm.
to type fast. It's
Right.
we have that requirement and I can type fast. But what I will also say is that's something that your speed gets better with time because
Yes, it does.
my typing speed in that class at the time never went past 50 words a minute.
Mhm.
But now I type a hell of a lot faster than that because I've been typing consistently for years, so it's gotten
So,
faster.
so I actually did the same class as well. I
Mm-hmm.
was in like I think I was in grade 9 when this class has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Like
and
a dedicated, and I remember there being a dedicated class for
yeah,
typing.
somebody, I think it was program support, and somebody was just basically in like a private room with me.
Oh, that's not a class though,
Well, I mean,
because
I
no one
mean,
else would do that unless you were part of
like,
program support.
what's it, a private? I don't know, private. I don't know, tutor, whatever,
Well, I know
whatever.
people who were also in program support who probably did similar things, but that
Mhm.
wasn't a class. Not I wasn't
No,
a
it
person a
wasn't. It
part of
was
program
no, it wasn't
support.
a class, but like, it was
Yeah.
like, no, it was like they sent me to this private room for like, to typing testing or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like it felt like a class because it was like a couple days, like a couple 3 days or whatever, but like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Uh and then they said when I finished it, they said I was at grade 9 typing like a grade 11 level.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what that means,
I don't know
but
what that
it was
means because in grade 11 it's not essential to type fast.
right.
It's essential in my career and other people's careers who need to type. It's essential
Mhm.
to type fast. So I don't understand what that even means. Like I don't understand what that means.
Grade 11 level, and they said it was really good. It was really, I was really ahead. So I
Okay.
don't know. It was
I don't know what that means.
I remember
I don't know no
what
clue what that means.
that tutor said
Okay.
during. Yeah, no,
All
I don't
right
know.
then.
It was, I guess it was really good. That's what it meant. So it
Oh,
was grade 9
okay.
typing at a grade 11 level. So
All right. But
so
the main thing that I was going to mention was that um for anyone who knows what I'm talking about, or even people out there who are legal assistants themselves, the one thing that we weren't taught, but I know my mom was taught in her
mhm.
course, was transcription. Now, for those who don't know what transcription is, it's basically um, where like I'm going to use my example. My lawyer will type it, well, will talk into something called a dictaphone where it records him and then he uploads that recording into a software that comes to me and then
Right.
I have to type it up. That's what transcription is.
Mm.
And you're given like a foot pedal that you can use and you on the foot pedal you can press play, fast forward, rewind, and all that kind of thing. That is basically transcription. And it is
Right.
essential for this. I think it's starting to phase out a little bit. It was maybe a little more essential in the beginning of my career. But it was definitely something that we should have been taught. And we never were. We did 1 day of transcription. One
Oh
day.
wow.
What the fuck was
Wow.
that? It was nothing.
Wow.
And I I come from a place where I have been doing transcription throughout my entire career. I've been
Mhm.
working in the industry now since
So how
2013.
so, so how did you
I just
learn
had to learn. I
based
just
on
had
that
to
one
do it.
time? Wow.
I just had to do it. I had no choice. I just had to do it. And it was essential for my career. I do transcription at least weekly at the very minimum in my career, in my job. My boss, he's, I think what they don't realize, because why I say maybe it's phasing out a little bit, is because the newer generation of lawyers coming in are more self sufficient. They will do their own reports and whatever. They don't use dictation
Mm.
as much as maybe the older crowd does. But my lawyer is in his mid to late 40s, let's say.
Right.
He is older. He's of a different generation who uses this. And I
Mm.
then need to know how to do it. And at the time that I um, was hired on, I was comfortable with dictation, so it wasn't a problem.
Right.
But I was never taught that. That is one thing that to this day, I've graduated now 11 years, that I always keep saying, they fucked up and they should have taught us this.
Right.
That's just the tip of the iceberg, though, because with my education in the college field. But I'm
It
just
is.
like, we should have taught that. There's just certain things that they focus on. And it's like, I
They should.
don't do that.
Yeah, they shouldn't focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, yeah. Go
I'm
ahead.
curious to hear though, in terms of you mentioned history. So
Well,
let's move on to that.
yeah, going back to finance, because I did research an article about the financial literacy part. So
Mhm.
they announced 13 years ago today that grade 4 and grade 12 students in Ontario will be learning to make informed choices and effective decisions about the use and manage of money. So September of 2011, they announced
Mm.
that. So I'm guessing I was out of school by then. You were out of school by then. Am I right?
I had
So
graduated high school in 2009. So
so
yeah.
so we didn't either benefit
Mm-mm.
from any of it. So this is
But
good for the new. This is good for the new
yeah,
generation.
yeah,
This is
but
good.
I don't know if that is because again, like my brother is of the generation who probably would have learned that. Now, unfortunately, his grade 12 experience was impacted by COVID.
Right.
So I don't know if he was ever taught that. And in
Okay.
grade 4, I mean, 2011, he would have not been in grade 4 at that point. I think he would have been past in 2011, but I can't. I don't know. I can't remember.
Uh,
I can't do math right now.
uh,
um.
well,
Well.
I like I said, I think the new generation would, benefit off this, which is great news for financial literacy
Hmm.
to be taught in school. So like, not, yeah,
Yeah, but
okay,
I'm just curious to know how insightful that's actually going to be
yeah,
because my brother,
mm,
who should have benefited from that at least in grade
yeah,
12,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't
Mm.
know. I don't think
Has
he
he?
makes great decisions when it comes to
Maybe
money.
no. Well, I don't want to call it. Is he a great like listener in terms of
Um, he's great in school. If that's what you're asking.
grade school? Okay. Oh, my
Yeah,
bad. Great in
but
school.
yeah, but um, you know, he's stubborn. Let's just say that.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Like he has something that impacts him that I
Mm.
don't want to discuss on the podcast.
Okay. No.
But
No.
I'll say he is neurodivergent, so we'll say that. But I'm not going to say exactly what. Um, but yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Like with me, I sometimes like it will go over. It will go over my head
Hmm.
at like some of the stuff teacher says or some of the stuff like teachers,
Well,
and then
again, you had something that happened with you
yeah.
that I don't know if you want to discuss,
Yeah. Yeah.
but that makes sense. Like it's not.
Mhm.
I'm not surprised by that. Personally, because I know what you've gone through
Right.
that could have affected, you know, your learning experience as well.
Right. Right. Yep. Well, that's my history. There you go.
Well, we didn't
um,
really say much.
okay. All right. So going to history.
Mhm.
So I was only, taught about. I'm sure you probably have a different perspective on history. I was only taught World War I, the Cold War, World War II,
Mhm.
how Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves,
Mhm.
Christopher, Christopher Columbus hunting Indians, and some of our like Canadian history,
Mhm.
and watching Schindler List 10 times in
You
high
watched
school.
Schindler's List 10 times.
We had this teacher, I can't remember his name. He just
I watched
like I
Schindler's
had
List once.
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 You must have had the same teacher, but
I
like
didn't. I didn't have a he. I had Miss I don't care. We
Miss.
can say her
Okay,
name, Miss
so
Linsky. That's
base.
who I had.
Okay. Oh, I had a he, and I had him like every year.
Mhm. We only did
He
history
would.
in 1 year.
Hmm?
We only did history for one
I could
year
have
in grade 10.
swore I had history
You could
in.
do history more than once if you wanted to, but we are the requirement for graduating high school. You only had to do 1 year in grade
Hmm.
10.
Well, I did history every year because I
Okay.
remember watching list
Jesus
more than
Christ.
yes. That the same teacher would put on that movie
Mhm.
10 times. I mean, it's a good movie.
It's
It's a
a
good
good
movie.
movie, but
It's a
that's
good
a
movie.
movie I can't watch more than once
Yeah,
because
but
it's heavy.
yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, but like in terms of like about Black History,
Mhm.
like when Black History like came in like February, right?
Black History
Um,
Month, yes.
yeah, Black History Month.
We get the shortest fucking month of the year.
Yes, which is ridiculous.
Mhm.
And the only like history figures in Black history that I only got taught was Martin Luther King, Muhammad Ali, Malcolm X, and Rosa Parks.
Mhm.
That's basically it. So
So
yeah.
here's what I'll say, because I am a person who loves history. I actually don't particularly like Canadian history. As a
Oh,
Canadian, I don't give a
oh,
shit about Canadian history.
interesting.
That's for some reason that's how I am. I I only remember learning Canadian history in elementary school, grade 7 and 8. That's the only times I actually remember learning Canadian history. But in grade 10, yes, we learned about the Cold War, World War One, World War Two. I particularly enjoyed learning about World War Two because
Mm-hmm.
World War Two wasn't just World War Two; it was the
Right.
Holocaust as well,
Oh,
right?
oh yeah, I forgot about the Civil War.
We learned about Civil War Two.
Did we? Did we
I
learn
don't
about
remember.
Civil? Yeah, yeah, Civil War. I think
Um,
we yeah, Civil War.
yeah, like I, I yeah, I can't remember a whole lot, but
Yeah.
I I remember learning the Holocaust, which is the time that we watched Schindler's List.
Right.
The only time I watched Schindler's List. So yeah,
Yeah. Uh,
I that part of what I've learned sticks with me because that's something that I still will go back and just learn more about. And I've learned so much about that I think I've exhausted everything that I can at this point.
mm,
But when it comes to Black history, yeah, I didn't learn much. I don't remember learning anything Black
yeah.
history in high school. I fortunately was able to opt into, we had an elective in college, one elective course in the 3 years that I did my course. And I opted to learn Black history. And that course, that class completely changed my life, honestly, made me think very differently about everything. And
Mm,
that is the only exposure I have to learning Black history was when I was in my third year. So I was 2021. And that was the
really?
only, yes, that was the only exposure that I had to
That's
Black
pretty bad.
history. Yeah.
I think that's the same thing with me too, because like I don't that those are the only moments that, that was
Mm-hmm.
only taught to me over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah.
Like you knew like the little things. You knew like Martin Luther King. You knew those things. But
Oh yeah.
what you also, because again, Martin Luther King is like the only Black person really and truly that's celebrated every fucking year. So you know a little bit, but it's like the things, Emmett Till. I didn't learn about Emmett Till until I was 20 years old.
Mm,
And that story to this day has just makes me very angry. We'll say that. Um, and and then also learned about the KKK setting a church on fire that was filled with little girls, little Black girls,
all right.
and killed them.
That's
This
crazy.
is this is the shit that you learn that you don't fucking know that no one
Yeah.
wants to talk about because let's pretend that shit didn't happen, right? But
Yeah.
it did, and you know that that's something you don't learn in high school, but I did learn in college, and I'm thankful for it. But I think yeah, we need to do a little better. We need to. If you don't talk about it, how do you stop those things from happening? Because guess what, guys, it's still happening. You know, differently, but it's still happening.
So this is an article from, 2022 from on Ontario.ca. Stephen, is it Stephen Leese or Stephen Leese?
I don't know who you're
Minister
talking
of
about.
so the Minister of Education.
Okay.
So if I pronounce his name wrong, Stephen Leese,
Uh,
the Minister of Education, has
mm-hmm.
announced that the Ontario government is investing to support development of resources to assist educators in teaching about Black experience and contributions to Canada.
Hmm. Good.
This, yeah.
I
So,
hope they stick to that because really and truly, if you think about it, you don't know who invented something or whatever. It was 9 times out of 10 invented by a Black person.
yeah,
So,
a lot of the times, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Also, like I was thinking about this as well. What about like, mental health? Like, so students can learn how to, manage stress and deal with, help, basically. What about
Um,
mental health?
oh boy, that's a whole other situation.
Yeah, that's a touchy subject. Yeah.
Because mental health doesn't just mean stressors or how to manage stress. Mental health is so much more deeper than
Yeah.
that.
More broad. Yeah.
Yeah, and that learning how to manage stress isn't going to fix it. You know,
Mm.
I think the better thing to say is how to recognize it and to know that you're suffering from something that's mental health related, whether
Okay.
that is, anxiety, panic attacks, um, even suicidal thoughts. These are all mental health things that need to be addressed. And I think 9 times out of 10, like students don't know what's going on and how to manage. I think we're doing a lot better than they did
Oh,
when we were
yeah.
in school.
100%. Like
Right.
I think, yeah, the mental health awareness is a lot better
Mm-hmm.
than when we were in school, and including in society has gone talked about a lot better. You see the Bell one, the
But
Let's
let's
Talk.
talk. Yeah.
What is another one? Sick Kids. Uh, doing foundations for mental health. There's gotta be others.
There's not that many.
No, there's many there. There's a lot
There's not that
more.
many.
You sure?
We still have a lot of work to do when it comes
I
to
know
mental health awareness.
we still have a lot to work to do, but like it
There's not
hasn't
that
been.
many.
Hmm,
Personally, I feel like there isn't that many. I think the Bell Let's Talk is one of the bigger ones, at least here in Canada, um, that really brings awareness to mental health. Um, so yeah, like I think that's the biggest one. They do that every year around the same time. Lots of people take part in that in whichever way you can. Um, and so that is bigger, but I just don't know how you can't teach how to manage that in a high school setting or college setting or whatever the hell. You can't really teach that. You just have to know when you're going through it and what your triggers are. Because again, like everyone is different. I fortunately didn't really suffer with anxiety too much in, my early school ages, high
right.
school into college. I fortunately didn't deal with that too much, but I knew it's something that could happen eventually because my family mental health issues runs in the family for me. So I
Mhm.
knew that was something that could potentially happen. And then I had the trigger happen, and that's something I've been dealing with now for years.
Right.
I just knew, though, I was aware of this is what I'm dealing with, and I need to learn how to manage my own. Everyone is different. So,
Yep.
yeah,
That's
I
true.
don't know how you teach that. I really don't.
Yeah. Um. Hmm. I mean, you can. Hmm.
It's something you can't teach.
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
can't. It's not that they don't tell you how to manage
Hmm.
stress and that stress is something that happens and it's not good for you. I've been learning that since elementary school. I know that. But mental health is so much more than just stressors. You can't control what you fixate on, even though you know you fixate on that thing. For example, just saying as an example, um, and you can't control what you fixate on, but you know you are. But that's something you
Yeah.
can't teach. If I personally, if anyone is dealing with any sort of mental health concern, whether that be anxiety, panic attacks, whatever it is, therapy. Therapy is really and truly the only thing that can really help
Oh
you
yeah. I think
learn
more
about it
school.
and manage it.
Yeah, I think more schools need. You think more schools probably would need like a therapist like when it comes
How
to
would they
like
employ that though? I don't think that's even possible. I
you
think
know
it's a great idea. It's
yeah
not possible though. That's why you had like guidance counselors or whatever. They were equipped to do that. But again, what teenager do you know? Do you remember being a teenager? Did you want to talk about your problems? Because I sure as hell didn't. And it, we're not gonna really use a guidance counselor in that way. And plus, you are hyper aware that you have to be careful what you say
yeah
because they're mandated reporters, right?
right
Um, so in I will say in college for me, it was readily available to us that we could go to therapy and we didn't have to pay a dime because of our benefits that we had. We didn't have to pay a dime.
right
We could go in, they got paid however they got paid, and that was it. That was the first time where you had pretty easy access to a therapist that you can go to and talk to. Like I've been doing therapy since I was in college. Once I knew that was something I could get my hands on. I'm a huge, huge
yeah,
supporter of therapy. Everyone needs it.
yeah, I do agree. Everybody needs it.
Mm.
I'd like to give you a surprising article. This article was from May 2023.
Mm.
According to CBC.ca, the Ontario government announced Monday it will introduce a new mandatory educational for elementary and high school students that aims to increase mental health literacy in the wake of the continued challenges that emerged during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that is a good idea because, again, I think I come from a place where I just don't know how you do that because it's something we never saw.
Right.
And I think like when you watch certain movies, for example, I can't remember the movie now, but there's it's based on a musical. And
Mm.
it's surprising, not surprising because it's the wrong word to use, but it's good to see that it's like, okay, there are teenagers who deal with mental health and it's just never talked about. And I think we're doing a lot better with that.
Yeah. Yep.
Um, and also with COVID-19, how that affected everybody. And I
Oh.
saw how that affected my brother
Oh
because,
yeah.
again, I did mention that he was affected by COVID in
The,
it's
the
grade
yeah
11.
the
And
mental health rates was raising
yes,
sky high during the COVID
yeah,
pandemic
yes,
from crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Even for adults as well, going back into the office after being out of the office for,
Yeah.
I think at that point would have been 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
was not a fun experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine like, their anxieties
Hmm.
went up. So
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. Including my friend, like during the pandemic, he was having uh issues as well. So
Yeah.
you can imagine during that time uh what people was going through. So
Hmm. Yeah, I
yeah.
know. Because I went through similar things. My mom went through
Mm,
similar things that
yeah,
you get so used to, you know, not having to go into the office. For example, from my perspective, not having to go into the
yeah,
office, you can work in your pajamas.
yeah,
You're used to that. And then when you're told, oh, now you got to go in once a week or
yeah.
twice a week or 3 times a week, depending on your company. Or it was
Hmm.
for some companies, it's every day. They're going back to normal.
Hmm.
Um, it's you're not used to it.
Yeah, that's the same thing I was gonna say. Like,
Yeah.
been told from the government that you can only stay in the house.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go to certain places because a lot of the places were like locked down,
Mm-hmm.
and the only thing you can go is between staying in your house or going outside for walks, which
Mm-hmm.
which was like basically, I mean, it worked going
There are
outside,
some people
having a
who are afraid to
walk.
even do that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
going outside to walk.
Yeah. But even like we talk about people who were stuck at home, but then let's talk about the people who had to go to work every day. When you
Oh,
had the essential workers who had to go in every
mm,
day. And even if it's not even the essential workers, I think I mentioned previously, my boyfriend had to work every day during COVID. Every day during COVID, he was never able to work at home because his job was not conducive for him to work at home. So he had to go into to work every day. And although he's the kind of person who doesn't talk about his anxieties very much, doesn't talk about those things,
right.
you could tell it affected him because I mean, I'm not going to say his office, his work's name or
Mm,
anything like that, but they did not handle COVID-19 very well. There was clearly an
mm,
outbreak going on in there at one point,
wow.
and it was just like, this person has COVID, this person has COVID, to the point where it was, I have COVID, right? He did eventually get COVID, and it, what do you do?
Right.
But
Right.
he was lucky he didn't really get affected too much by COVID.
Oh, well.
I've had
Well.
COVID. It
Mm.
sucks.
Well, I
I had
had
twice.
symptoms. I also had symptoms of it, and
You probably had it.
it would, yeah. I would say so. Most likely I did had it, I would say.
Yeah.
And
And that's scary because, you
oh,
know,
it
not
was,
to go into too much again, but
yeah.
you can't afford to get COVID because of people you live with who their
Hmm.
immune systems are not the
Yes,
greatest. Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I was just staying in my room,
Yeah.
lock it up, and didn't really go upstairs or whatever, or didn't,
Yeah.
just stayed in my room.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
No, COVID sucks. I've had it twice. The first time was worse than the second. I lost my voice, just to put it that way. It
mm,
was horrible. It's no joke.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's a whole thing that we don't need to go into.
Exactly. So, Tanika, do you believe in aliens in space? Do 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 do.
Here's what I'll say. I believe there is life on other planets. How could there not be? Um, I don't know what that looks like on every single planet because I think the closer you are to the sun, the closer you are to the moon, life isn't as easy, right? Um, just because that's what you learned.
Right,
How could there not be life on Mars, for example? You know what I mean?
right.
Um, I believe there is life, but what does that life look like? I don't think it looks like ET, for example. Oh,
So supposedly two alien bodies were presented to the Mexican Congress,
hmm.
according to Washington Post. Um, yeah, when I looked at the pictures of the two
And
alien
literally
bodies,
ET.
yeah, it kind of looks like they remodeled ET,
Yes.
but like
I'm waiting for it to wake up and say ET phone home.
But yeah, it looked like it had like two legs. I expected the alien to have basically one leg,
Why
and
would you think an alien has one leg? That's never been what aliens are depicted as. They've always had
really,
two legs. Yes. Did you not watch ET?
I mean that's
ET has two
ET.
legs.
I mean that's ET.
Yeah, but
ET
there's
you
been
see a
other
lot.
movies. Even like, okay, this is a stupid fucking example, but we're gonna use it anyways. Scary Movie 3, they had two legs. Have you watched Scary Movie 3 when the
Oh
aliens show
yeah, I
up?
watch some of the
Yeah.
scary. Yeah, I watched that. Yeah,
Some. That's the best one is Scary Movie 3.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, like they were all almost the same, I would say, except for the first three, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and then probably like sequels down the road as well. The same as the
anyone
American Pie, they were basically all the same except for like one and two. So,
right,
well,
anyone that
yeah,
has talked about being abducted by aliens or whatever the case may be, or because there's a
yeah,
lot of different cases.
yeah,
I've learned a lot about that, and I think a lot of the ones that I've learned from for those who are podcast listeners, and that's why we drink. Talks a lot about alien abductions and stuff like that. So I have a lot of from listening to them, and yeah, like from what I understand, they don't look like this alien. Number one, number two, they have legs, more
mhm.
than one. But they don't. They're not described as ET looking aliens. From
Mm,
every person who's talked about their, whether or not you believe them is a different story, but everyone who has described being abducted or in any form of abduction,
right.
they all look similar or are described to be look similar, and it doesn't look like this one. Is what I'm trying to get at.
Mm. Yeah, but like you look at like cartoons, animations, there has been like different looking aliens though,
Mm,
right?
yeah, but they all
once
kind
one
of similarly look
yeah, the
the
bald
same.
headed, but
Yeah.
they're all different. Like they all have some have like one leg, some have
Mm.
like 18 fingers, some have like
I
yeah,
mean, really and truly, ET is one of the aliens that you don't see depicted very much. It's
true.
kind of one of a kind depiction of an alien.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. And then you go from you remember the Alien versus Predator movies? Have you watched
I
those?
haven't watched those.
Yeah. Well, I see pictures of them. I haven't
Really
watched
and
them either,
truly,
but
aliens scare the hell out of me. I will be very honest.
true.
You know why
So
they scare the hell out of me? Because I
yeah.
can't remember the name of the movie. Maybe I don't think it's Alien versus Predator. I highly doubt it. But there is a movie. It's a '90s movie where these aliens came to Earth and they looked kind of weird. They kind of look like they have like these like glass cylinders over their
Right.
heads or whatever. I wish I could remember the name of the movie, but they were like killing people. And when you're like 8, 9 years old watching this movie, you're like, I am scared of aliens. So I've always been very scared of aliens, really and truly. But yeah, there's so many different depictions, but there's nothing that says that aliens look like what they've been depicted as in movies or TV shows. Like,
Mhm. Do you think there are aliens up in space?
well, I did say that I think there is life on other planets,
Oh yeah.
but I just don't think
Okay.
they
Do
look like what we think they look like,
mm,
or if
do
that
you
is what life looks like. I don't know.
do you think they have spaceships up there already made to come down to invade us, just like the movies?
I don't think they're coming to hurt people. I don't think they're coming to like do an alien invasion or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
do I think there are UFOs? Which I know they're not called that anymore. They're called something differently now, but I can only stick with
Yes.
unidentified flying object. That's what I've
In
learned.
industrial life? That's what they
No,
call.
no,
No,
I don't think so.
no.
It's still a three acronym thing, but I can't remember
Hmm.
what it is now. But I do think they exist. I do. I do think they exist. I think there are definitely UFOs that cannot be explained. Doesn't look like anything like what is on Earth. I 100% believe in those. Um, I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know.
Well, there's been like, pictures and, in the past, but most likely don't you think they're like, meteor rocks are just coming down to Earth?
But those are factual things that people can explain. We
Hmm.
know there are meteors and that they can come to Earth or come close to Earth. So obviously they can't. Meteors are not coming to Earth. We'd be dead. But they're flying close to Earth. That's
Mm.
you know,
So the
we know those things exist, so that's explained.
mhm.
Aliens are not.
Mm. So the other name for UFOs is UAPs. Is that
Okay,
right?
yeah, I think that's right. I did say that,
Okay. I just did some research there, so like basically, yeah, UAPs.
which I
That's
don't
what it's
understand
called.
why I need to change a good thing. But anyways, um, but
What does a UFO mean? So like it's just
unidentified
called
flying
UFO?
object.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Um, but
But
anyways, back to
yeah.
these alien bodies.
Hmm.
So the alien bodies were first discovered or recovered or whatever in Peru back in 2017.
Yeah.
And they carbon dated the bodies to be about 700 to 1800 years old.
Wow. I got 1,000 years old for some
It's
reason,
been
but
kind of all over the place in terms
okay.
of it, but I did see 1,000 years old in a different article as well. Um, but this is the first time that extraterrestrial
Yeah.
life has been presented. This was the first kind of thing, I guess. But here's the problem:
Yeah.
the UFO enthusiast is what they're calling him. His name is Jamie Mawson, I think is how you say his last
Oh
name.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, go ahead.
He has done this shit before and it
Mm-hmm.
has been debunked.
Huh.
He
Interesting.
apparently presented a body, I think it was back in 2015,
Hmm.
and it was a child's body. It was found out to be a mummified child body.
Wow.
And the reason that it looked like an alien is because
Hmm.
apparently they don't have a lot much to know about it. Um, but it looks like it could have been a child who had a deformity, a head deformity, and that's just what their body looked like. And again, we're talking about times that we don't know every little thing about. Um, and that's probably why their head looked the way it did. So
Yeah.
who's to say that this isn't the same case, that this is a child's mummified body
Right.
who had a head deformity? We don't know.
So, oh, wow. So I'm guessing my guess that there probably might be more out there on in the ground or
Oh, for sure. There are bodies in places that we'll never know. Of course, there are bodies everywhere. Let's be very real here. There are bodies everywhere that will never be discovered, or maybe one day they would be, but it's probably not going to happen. And here's the other thing: too that we didn't mention is that the body was, I think we did actually mention that the body was presented in Mexico, body was recovered in Peru.
Right.
He says that I think it's like a university of something, was the place where they were able to carbon date the bodies. And he says like, oh yeah, they carbon dated the bodies, and they said that it was a extraterrestrial and whatever. The university came back with a statement saying, okay, hold on. Yes, they came forward with these bodies. Yes, we carbon dated the bodies, but we never once said that they were extraterrestrial. That didn't come to us. That wasn't presented to us. We never said that it was. They're like, no, it's not. That's not right. And then Peru has also come forward saying, you took bodies off of Peru's land or whatever and didn't tell us. So now it could become an issue that this guy took these fucking bodies out of Peru when they shouldn't have.
Wow.
So there could be a whole situation here.
So that's illegal.
It's illegal. It's 100% illegal. You can't do that. Because this is the thing. If it isn't actually an extraterrestrial and it is the human remains that should be in Peru, you just fucking took these bodies out of Peru because you think you can, because they look like aliens. Like, no, mummified bodies don't look human. Okay, we all saw the Mummy, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't look like, yeah. But even besides that, even if you've gone into the ROM where at least when I went to the ROM last, anyways, they actually had mummified bodies on display. They don't look fucking human. They just don't, but they are. So like this, I don't believe it.
Yeah,
I don't think.
You don't think they're real.
I don't think that these two bodies that were presented are aliens. No.
Oh no, that's what I meant. These two bodies are not. Yeah, they're not aliens.
I think this guy watched a Steven Spielberg movie a little too much and thinks that this is E.T.
Yeah, that's
what I think.
I think he really wants these UFOs to be real. So yeah.
And technically they wouldn't be classified as UFOs. They would be classified as alien, because UFO is the actual, it's not the alien themselves. It's the flying object. It's the yeah.
I mean aliens, guys. Aliens.
Yeah.
My bad. I'm so used to saying UFOs, UAPs.
Yeah.
To the point that I get it mixed up. So
yeah.
So hopefully in the future, in the year 3000, we'll get more.
We won't be alive.
I'm alive.
So
okay. Well,
we're not alive in 3000. Did you actually just say that if I'm alive?
I mean,
we're not alive in 3000.
I mean, like,
you realize we have to go through an entire century, right?
True.
We're not. Yeah, we have to go through.
We can freeze ourselves, or.
Oh, don't even go there. It's a whole situation. Don't even go there.
Okay, so new music has happened.
Yes, it has.
So Nelly Furtado, Justin Timberlake,
and
Timbaland's new song, "Keep Going Up." I think it's a pretty good song.
I like it. It's instantly on my Spotify. I like it.
Go ahead.
No, I enjoy the song. I love that Nelly Furtado is coming out with a new song. I hope she keeps up with that. I loved her last album. I have her last album. It's one of those things that I got very much into. Not that I ever was like a huge Nelly Furtado fan before that, but I really liked her last album. So, which was a long time ago. So, but yeah, I enjoyed the song. It's great to see her back. I knew this was going to happen because I had seen, I think she did a photo shoot maybe a month or two before the song came
Uh,
out. And I'm like, she's coming back with new music. I
she
felt
she
it in my bones.
she really looks good for her age, I would say.
Yeah,
She
I
really
don't.
looks
And
good.
she's a mom, guys. Good for her.
Yeah. Well,
She's a
like
mom and she's married.
yeah.
Men and children stress you out.
Well, I do think the song will do well in the charts, and most likely will capture the mass of radio.
Hmm.
And I can see people dancing to this in the nightclubs. You know,
Yeah.
so like, do you feel that Nelly Furtado, Justin Timberlake, and Timberlake should make like a collaborated album together?
Um, well, I don't necessarily see Justin Timberlake necessarily being a part of it.
Mm,
Um, so like her last album already
yeah.
was a collaboration with Timbaland. That is 100% produced by Timbaland. That last
Oh,
album.
didn't he
Um,
do Didn't he do a past album as well with her? Because I've seen a couple songs that was made 13 years
before,
ago.
well, the last album she did was like 15 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
mean. That was her
yeah, that's
last
probably
album, was that one. So yes, that whole album, and I have, like I said, I have that album. That whole album is Timbaland, produced by him.
mm.
Um, you kind of hear him in the
Oh yeah,
background of certain songs. Like
oh
he's not on it in the
yeah,
same way like Promiscuous or like Man Eater, where
oh
you really hear him, right?
mm.
But he produced that album. So I can see them producing an album again together.
Mm.
Whether or not Justin Timberlake is going to be a part
I
of that, I don't know.
I think even the two, even Nelly and Timberlake, make great music with each other, and even the
They do.
three, including Justin Timberlake, made even though they did just one song, which was "Give It to Me." Well, actually,
Mm,
I have another question for you.
okay.
Which which do you like more so far? Like, "Give It to Me" or
Uh,
"Keep Going Up"?
uh,
Since
it's
since you're
hard for
more
me.
fan,
It's hard
because
for
like
me to pick.
because "Give It to Me" is a classic
Yes.
song,
Yes.
classic song.
Yeah. So it's hard for me to. I don't know. I really don't.
You know,
I don't know. I don't know if I can pick one. Sorry. I don't know if I can pick one, but
mm.
um,
Would you say they're
yeah,
both similar or are they
they're
both like
similar because
different? Yeah,
again, Timbaland's music all across the board is similar.
yeah.
So they're all similar.
I feel like it was more of like a sequel to that song. What do you think?
15 years later.
Yeah. I mean, like, there's some movies there's some movies that 15 years
What
later
movie do
or
you
15.
know is going 15 besides
Oh,
Scream?
there's a lot of movies that get sequels 9 years later, or 3 years or 4 years or 5 years later,
The only one I can think of right now is Scream because that's what I'm kind of watching right now. I'm going through the
Mm,
Scream movies. Classic.
there's Indiana Jones
That
that
should not be happening.
yeah. 4 and 5 were like, I think we were like, what,
That
10 years
should
10 years
not
apart.
be happening.
What the last Mission
That
Impossible,
don't even get me. That should just
that
stop.
and
Tom
then
Cruise should just stop.
yeah. I mean, no, he's still good. He's still
Fuck Tom Cruise. That should stop.
oh. He still makes good movies. Stop it.
No, fuck him. Fuck him. Don't get me
Uh,
started, okay?
okay.
Fuck him
All
and the
right.
whole
All right.
Scientology bullshit. Fuck it.
Okay.
Continue.
But yeah, great song.
It's a good
Um,
song. Yeah.
I think it would just top the charts. Um, so new Drake song
Mm-hmm.
also dropped.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so featured Sorry if I mispronounced her name. Because
Who cares?
Sassy
The chick who was on
Zia,
X Factor. Let's just move on.
or she was on TDE, Top Dog Entertainment with Kendrick Lamar.
Sure.
Yeah. This song, it's pretty
I don't
cool.
like it.
You don't really?
I don't like it. I think it's horrible. I don't like it. Don't like it at all. Drake, do better. I don't like it. You need to come back out with like a God's plan type situation here. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. I actually turn it off if we're finishing it. I don't like it.
Interesting.
Don't like it. I don't like the message it sends. I don't like it. I think the song sucks. I think we need to stop also saying the N-word. Okay, Black people.
Really?
Don't. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't like it. So
I mean, it's a pretty cool Drake standard song. Like
don't like
if
it.
you listen to his past R&B music,
I do listen to his past R&B music. I don't like it.
You don't like any of his R&B music?
No. I don't like this song.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I mean, like I said, it's pretty cool. And
sure, I don't like it.
Everybody.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I think he can do a lot better. I don't like the song. I think it has potential.
I do think there's probably better songs on the album, possibly. So
this is not good.
So
I think it definitely had potential with this chick, whatever her name is, being on it. She does great songs. She has done songs with Sam Smith. She's great. This was not good.
I think this song was probably targeted to a certain crowd. So,
and I think we need to sway away from that crowd because I mean, the first lyrics of the song is talking about how women we can't think for ourselves or some shit. Like I didn't like the message he is sending. We're in different times.
Yeah.
And don't like it. I am like, okay, let me look past that, but I still didn't like the song.
And here's the thing about like for hip hop. Like I read a lot of articles, like Billboard. We can talk about this in another podcast episode. How hip hop is, not the main genre to listen to anymore.
Hip hop has completely become a shit show. It has become a shit show.
Yeah.
And I don't listen to hip hop. Like when I say hip hop, I'm more meaning rap. More rap for me, which is completely different, obviously. But like rap has become an absolute shit show.
True. I mean, I like the old school stuff, like, and the old school acts who are making music right now. So, so like, and some like there's a couple new schools who resembles the old school stuff. Like, I listen to Corday as well. He's a lyrical type of hip hop artist, and he makes music with meaning, not with like bang bang bang, shoot 'em up, that stuff, like that generic stuff. So that's another one. And then you already know like the Kendrick, the J. Cole, those are like the only three I would listen to.
But they've also been around a lot longer.
Yes. And they make meaningful music, right? They take their time. And I think that's what the problem with hip hop is, that it's just rushed trash. That's
you have these people who are like, what's that new mumble rap or what the hell it's fucking called?
Yeah, I don't.
It's like, what the fuck is this? We didn't have people like LL Cool J, Ice Cube, Coolio. We didn't have these people coming and putting this shit on the map for you to fucking mumble through your fucking song. What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Gucci gang.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, there was always a certain place for like the kind of shoot 'em up type stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no. like,
we
but
always had that. Like for
yeah, like,
example, I'm thinking, shit, what's his face? He passed away. Um, shit.
mm, I,
Up in here, that guy.
um,
DMX.
DMX, yeah,
Yeah, you had DMX.
but he was more versatile, like with his music. He would talk about like religion, and then he would talk
DMX
about
is
the shoot 'em up,
unfucking touchable, in
and then
my honest
yeah,
opinion.
yep.
And but we don't have people like that anymore.
Oh no, like a lot of the hip hop songs, like a lot of the hip hop artists nowadays are not versatile. They just like to put a whole time
They
album,
had to talk. They just want to talk about shooting up people or
shooting,
fucking
and
girls. That's
then
all it is.
that's basically the whole entire album.
Yeah.
Now it's okay. It's okay to have like a couple of those songs because there is a crowd for that,
Mhm.
right? But making a whole album kind of
Yeah.
gets boring and it's
Hmm.
trashy and it's not good music.
And we can even talk about, like, for example, reggae has become the same thing. Gone are the days where you have the Bears Hammonds or um the Sanchez's. Like, you don't have those anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have Lucianos. You don't have that
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah,
Now we have the people who just want to talk about fucking women. That's all
yeah,
you have.
yeah. But we're gonna say that for another podcast episode,
Oh
and
man,
we'll probably make
how
that.
music
We'll
has gone
probably
to shit.
well hip hop and how
Yeah.
other genres are taking over hip
Hmm.
hop nowadays. So like
Hmm.
we'll talk about that. We'll probably make it that full episode because it's
I think we could.
probably
I think we
yeah
honestly could make that full episode.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So speaking of like throwback hip hop artists that that are still doing it today,
Hmm.
Nas and Hit Boy released their sixth album and final album together called Magic 3. They have been working together in the past 2 years. So you can imagine, Nas and the producer Hit Boy have been like, working their ass off within the 2 years. So Magic 3 is a very dope album. Very dope hip hop album. If you want to listen to lyrical hip hop, Nas is the pinnacle of it. He's such a great artist. He's versatile. He's y- y- if you like DMX, Nas is the one that you should
I
listen to.
feel like Nas and DMX are still very different,
Yeah,
personally.
yeah. They're different in terms of music. Yeah, but
Mm.
if you like versatile artists, Nas is a versatile artist as well.
Mm. Well, again,
And
he's from that genre.
oh yeah, oh
Yeah,
yeah,
he's been around
and I
for
still
years and years and years and years. So,
I still love his music. Favorite songs from the album: Superhero Status, Love This Feeling, Based on a True Story, and then Never Die featured Lil Wayne. So
oh my God.
yeah, Lil Wayne, yeah, pretty
Yeah,
good
okay.
song. Hey, listen, Lil Wayne has some songs that are
Lil
pretty
Wayne
good.
has some songs I can admit.
They're pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, I can
But
admit that.
this one he just went in, and I have a problem with the last not Nas album that was featured 50 Cent, and he was basically on one of the songs, and he just had like uh 8 bars on one song. 8 bars. If you know what
That's
eight
it.
bars is, yeah.
Okay.
8 bars. 50 was basically just saying 8 bars. It was basically him being, the show called Power,
Yes.
his show.
Yes.
He was basically saying stuff like what Cannon would do.
Okay. Well, I never actually watched Power. I've always been like my ex-husband always told me about it and told me, well, if you like Empire, you'll like Power.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Basically, it was
yeah.
basically a shooting up type of lyric.
Hmm.
It didn't really match the the theme of the song because the theme of the song was called Office Hours,
Hmm.
and 50 Cent was just basically off lyric, and
Okay.
the verse was really short as well. So I praise Nas for that song, but this song, Future Little Wayne, is so much better than Office Hours, I would say. So that's in my opinion. And Tanika, you have something for us that is an update
Right.
from last week's episode.
Right. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Update from last week with the NSYNC stuff. Their new song, which by the way is their first song since 2002.
Right.
It is available now to pre-save. The name of the song is called Better Place, and it's available now to pre-save, but it will not be released until September 29th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So obviously everyone who watched the VMAs or just heard about it after the fact, they were all there presenting an award to Taylor Swift. And her, like the rest of us, could not pivot to meeting them to, saying her speech. She is all of us in that moment.
Yeah, they're still good. Like I heard a little bit of the song, a little bit snippet from the
trailer,
the Trolls trailer.
Yeah,
the song sounds really good.
I actually haven't watched the trailer yet.
Oh, you gotta. Yeah, so, you need to. Yeah, you need to.
Maybe I just want to be surprised. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, the song's good. The song's
of course good. It is. Come on
now. Hopefully they'll drop an album. Or
they said this is it.
No,
they're not going to be doing an album. I don't think. If they are,
I saw a snippet video on TikTok that they were trolling on something that basically what the video was saying is like they were all saying something, and then Justin went and said something, and then the other member said something, and then I don't know if I know something.
I don't know.
And then they just cut the video from there. So I don't know if they're teasing an album or they're dropping something. So like
maybe. I mean, they said that they wouldn't tour again. So
okay, that's probably it. That's different. Like they can drop music and not tour because I know, but because dropping music in this modern day can actually be a lot easier because you can the music can market easier than it did years ago.
Yeah, but do you realize that's where the money is, right? The touring.
True.
Gone are the days where you can make the money from the actual music dropping.
True.
That is not the case anymore. The money is in the tour.
I mean, you can always license the songs out to other companies.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the money is there as well. But who knows? They might drop an album out of nowhere, surprise, and people will listen to the album. Obviously, people
100%
will listen to the album, just like how Beyonce dropped her last. Was her last album surprise album?
You're putting me into a territory that I don't want to go into. I don't want to be hated by the Beehive, okay?
Okay.
I'm not even going there. We will get hate.
So yeah, basically, if they drop a surprise album, it's going to do well.
Oh, 100% it's going to do well.
Yeah.
I'll literally say, excuse me, while I go listen to the NSYNC album for the rest of my life.
So you'll be locked up in your room.
My boyfriend will never see me again.
just nod in your head, and then and then once your boyfriend calls you, you just
I'll be like, leave me alone. You're interrupting.
You're disturbing the peace.
Yes, so disturbing my peace.
So this ends episode 3 of the Next Tape podcast. The Next Tape podcast is available on all the podcast platforms. We also have a website called solo.ta, Next Tape Podcast. So go check that out. It's a website that has all our basically, streaming service from Apple to Spotify, whatever. And also, if you want to contact us, it's mikeltanika@gmail.com. Anything you want to say, Tanyka, to the people that's listening to our podcast?
No, I don't think so. Just beware of the aliens. That is all.
Beware of the aliens. They will invade us and then take the NSYNC
We will
album.
be probed.
Yeah. They will take the NSYNC album as well and then take it up back in space.
Listen, aliens, we can share.
I'm Mikel Miles, and
I'm Tanyka.
we are out until next week.